see if I can find it real quick. It actually showed when it was coming down. I think this is the actual scene right here. And here we go, right towards the end of this. This was gonna be happening, man. And all these countries, they got their stuff aimed over here. Like I come across people and they try to conversate with me about certain stuff. I always revert to this shit right here. And I don't mean by this shit literally, because it ain't shit. Just a figure of speech. But what I mean is, I revert to this stuff and be like, hey man, are you aware that these countries, they actually got nukes pointed right over while we go to sleep at night or in the morning, whatever time you go to sleep, these countries got nukes pointed over here. There's gonna be a time when this type of scenario right here actually manifests and take place. Now let me go to some more scriptures. And this is the only thing that's gonna make elements melt with fervent heat. Ain't no damn planet finna crash into the earth and none of that. I've been hearing a little stuff about that too. It's in the book of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. You ever hear these go off? See some of them videos or whatever, or live near a military base and they be practicing and training, doing certain stuff. Once them jets and them rockets or whatever break the atmosphere, it sounds like a great noise. It says, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. What's going to do that? It's the only thing that's going to do this. I'm going to let the clip play some more. They're going to go way up there. They're going to reach their target. That's what's coming, man. That's what the scripture's talking about. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Because these break the atmosphere, just like whenever they shoot them rockets up to go up into space or go to the space station or whatever, they actually mess up the atmosphere. That's why the weather always changes up. But see, if you don't have no vision and you don't have the spirit dealing with you, can't see this. You just look at this and be like, what does this mean by the elements shall melt? Now let's look at the temperature of this. And I wasn't even looking for this, but it just popped up on there. It says this heat burns human skin as far as 3.5 kilometers from the hypocenter. That's what 2 Peter talking about. Say the elements shall melt with fervent heat, man. But this book was made up by man. Man, ain't no average man prophesy this stuff back then. And this man still to this day to have dreams and visions that actually come to fruition. And they would write them down. Sometimes you don't understand them right away, because back then, a lot of this stuff they ain't understand it fully. They just had the visions and they wrote them down. Or like a lot of prophets did. For example, I want to say it was let me think real quick. I want to say it was Ezra's. I think that was Ezra's, if I'm mistaken. He actually had scribes writing this stuff down. When he had no dreams and visions, he'd go on a fast. No meat. Just better yet, let me get that real quick. Because I want to bring that out for edification. And see, this one the Most High deal with you even more when you eat a certain diet. That's why a lot of people, they don't deal with them. They're too fucking polluted. Let me actually read the whole full version. Second Ezra chapter 5. The book of Second Ezra chapter 5, let me start at. Start at verse 29 says, "And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uri the angel commanded me. After 7 days, so it was that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again, and my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again." Because you actually calling on the Most High and speaking to him, you got to cleanse yourself, come to him clean. Don't defile yourself. Just like the time when Moses was going up to Mount Sinai, and people wanted to speak with him too. And he told them they basically don't have sex for 3 days, cleanse your garments and stuff, and then he'll come down and speak. Same way, he's gonna really try to get on that level like that. You gotta practice that. You gotta do that. I'm speaking from experience. No. In verse 23 it says, "And say, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth and all the trees, thou hast chosen thee only vine." In verse 24 it says, "And all of the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and all the flowers thereof one lily." It basically goes into how it is with our people. Because you have a lot of people around the world, they can't grasp the fact that the Most High got a favorite. Everybody got a favorite. People have kids, they got their favorite kid. People go buy clothes, they got their favorite outfit. They go buy shoes, they got their favorite shoes. People get cars, they got their favorite car. People got a favorite brush. People got a favorite color. So why the Most High can't have a favorite? That's the simplicity of people's mind, though. They don't really grasp that. Like, oh, he just loved everybody the same. No, it don't fucking work like that. I'm going to read on some more. Verse 25, it says, "And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river, and of all the builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself." It says 26, it says, "And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove, and all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, and to this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all." And he gave the law to our people. That's why I talk about, it's mentioned in the scriptures that he know us. He don't know no other nation. Yeah, he created them, but he don't care about them like he care about us. And the reason why we get jacked up so much, because we be going off. That's why. Them other heathens, they be doing all that shit, worshiping all them idols and eating all type of food. And people be looking like, damn, they be prospering. That's why people go serve that shit, because they think, oh, maybe if I go practice Buddha, get into Islam, or get into Hinduism, dang, I'll be able to do what they do. And then they get jacked up even worse. I'm going to read on some more. It says, in verse 28, and now, O Lord, why hast thou given this one people over until many? That's why he gave our people over unto many. Because our people want to go do what many was doing instead of doing what we supposed to be doing. And it says, and upon one root hast thou prepared others. Why hast thou scattered the only one people among many? And they which did gainsay thy promises and believe not thy covenants have tried them down. And that's basically what I'm talking about in this scripture right here. I wasn't even about to pull this. I was led to it. Yeah, like I said, I was speaking to somebody earlier, and they asked me. First, this person asked me about incense, because I always be lighting incense. And they asked me, do I worship the devil or something like that? Like, no, the hell, I got a whole Bible sitting right here, wide open, that I read. If I ain't on that, I'm on my apps on my phone. And I clearly believe in the Most High, which his name is Yahweh, and the Son, Yahweh Shah. Then the person asked me, how do I know that book is real, basically, or do I believe the whole book? Yeah, I believe the whole book. This right here, it clearly breaks down why people in these positions. And who else is talking about? Matter of fact, let me speak on that. Who else is talking about? Who else was given over to many people and scattered among many nations? There's only a certain amount of people on this earth that fit that. And who else be gainsaying thy promises? And you tell people, you know what, the Most High gonna wipe out all these heathens and put these heathens in subjection, allow them to build up our kingdom, our cities, our towns, and bring their goods and all this stuff for us. And our people again say that shit and be like, man, that ain't gonna never happen. People have been talking about that Bible for years. We tell people about the covenants, about the commandments. Hey, oh, I don't believe that. We ain't gotta keep no law. We ain't gotta practice that. Who else do that? I'm gonna read on some more. Verse 30 says, if thou didst so much hate thy people, yet shouldest thou punish them with thy own hands? Now when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night before was sent unto me, and said unto me, hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken unto the thing that I say, and I shall tell thee more. And verse 33 it says, and I said, speak on, my Lord. Then he said unto me, thou art sore troubled in mind. For Israel's sake, lovest thou that people better than he that made them? And I said, no, Lord, but a very grief have I spoken. For my reins pain me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High, and to seek out part of his judgment. And that's what we do this for. We edify, we labor. Researching and doing all that stuff, that's labor. That's labor's work. You gotta really cut off a lot of stuff, friends, family, your women. Even though we deal with women, you have to put them on pause for a while so you can labor and seek out this information. And they ain't gonna like it, but fuck them. They ain't supposed to not like it. If they was in the right spirit, they'll understand. They'll be like, you know what? That person's doing something beneficial, not just for herself, but on the behalf of us too, because they can gain from that also, but they don't see that. Now, verse 35 says, and he said unto me, thou canst not. And I said, wherefore, Lord? Whereunto was I born then? And why was not my mother's womb then my grave, that I might have not seen the travail of Jacob, and the wearisome toil of the stock of Israel? Because seeing our people in this state, man, if you got some type of conscience, it fuck with you. Like, you see people that's strung out on drugs, homeless, begging for shit, just out here through and bugged out. If you really care about your people, it fuck with you, man, and have you trying to seek a way, like, okay, what could change this? What's gonna change this? And this was gonna change this, man. Yahweh Shah, he gonna change this. He wanna put us in this situation. So you gotta seek him out, call on him, and do the things he asks, so he can get us up out of this. I'm gonna read on some more. I said I wasn't gonna make this long, but it's gonna turn into a longer video than expected. Now, verse 37, it says, open me the places that are closed and bring me forth the winds, that in them I shut up. Show me the image of a voice and then I will clear to thee the thing that thou laborest to know. And I said, O Lord, that bearest rule, who may know these things, but he that have not is dwelling with men. As for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things, wherefore thou askest me? I says, then said he unto me, like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so canst thou not find out my judgment, or in the end, the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, behold, O Lord, yet art thou nigh unto them that be reserved to the end? What shall they do that have been before me? Or we that be now, or they that should come after us? Because we the ones that this was talking about. The ones that come after those men. But them same men are back today. Like the scriptures say, there's no new thing under the sun. One generation passed away, another generation coming. Now, verse 42 it says, and he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, couldst thou not make those that have been made, and be now, and that are for to come, at once, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner? Then answered he me and said, the creature may not hesitate, may not haste, I should say, above the Maker. Neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. And I said, as thou hast said unto thy servant, that thou which givest life to all hast given life at once to the creature that thou hast created, and the creature bare it. Even so it might now also bear them that now be present at once. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman, saying to her, thou bringest forth children, why dost thou it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. And I said, she cannot, but must do it by a distance of time. Which that's another example of the difference between a man and a woman. Because a man can go get multiple women pregnant. No woman got to bear them kids one at a time. So that cut all that equality bullshit up. Anyway, it says in verse 48, then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in their times. But like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so have I disposed of the world which I created. And I asked and said, seeing thou hast not given me the way, I will proceed to speak before thee. For our mother, of whom thou hast told me that she is young, draweth now nigh to age. He answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore are they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of the youth are of one fashion. They that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. Consider thou therefore also, and that ye are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than ye, as creatures which now begin to be old, and have passed over the strength of youth. Then I said, Lord, I beseech thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show thy servant by whom thou visitest thy creature. Now, when it goes on some more, I ain't going to read all this because it's going to get even more lengthy. But when it goes on some more, it basically just mentioned how this information was given. And you actually got certain men that can really fully understand this stuff and actually have dreams and visions. Hey, some men actually had encounters with angels, seen chariots, all that stuff. But the average mind can't conceive that and actually see that. Like it's a scripture that I like. It's one of my favorite scriptures. It says, if I told you earthly things and you believe not, how should I tell you of the heavenly things? A lot of people can't believe the basic little stuff down here. You can't speak to everybody about heavenly things because they ain't going to believe it anyway. So basically, to sum this video up, seeing all this stuff unfolding.
A message repeated by U.S. Ambassador to the UN,
Gotta have
Kelly
vision,
Craft,
man.
during the Security Council meeting. The recent signing of
Gotta
the
have that
Abraham
foresight.
Accords between Israel, Bahrain, and the
And
United
it gotta
Arab
be put in
Emirates
you. It can't just be
arguably
some
further
junk.
isolates the Islamic
Be
Republic,
forced.
or according to Ambassador Craft, brings the region closer
Like years
to
ago,
peace.
hey, just a little brief history lesson. Years ago, I was running the streets doing all type of other shit. I'm sure you other Akim are familiar. with that street life. You know it come with that shit. I was doing all that stuff. I wasn't thinking about breaking down no precepts. I was having dreams and stuff then, but I wasn't thinking of it at the magnitude of how I do now. Realizing like, hey, this is something serious. This ain't no joke. Like, this is a reason why I see this stuff and experience this stuff. Just so I can bring out the edification of these scriptures and warn people about this, because this was coming. And if you got any sense, you want to get yourself together, get your household together, try to warn some of your people. The ones that don't get it, hey, just move on. The ones that get it, they're going to keep seeking you for answers anyway. And you got to get built up just so you can be a guide into them. Because that's ultimately what the duty of man is, to serve the Most High and to be a leader and a guide to his people.
And an agreement between the Israelis and Palestinians closer to fruition. What will happen after November 3rd remains a major question that, while not addressed in today's Security Council virtual session, was likely on the minds of the ministers in attendance. If President Trump is reelected, it's unlikely the United States will rejoin the JCPOA. If Democratic candidate Joe Biden wins, it's entirely possible he could renew the work done by his former boss, President Obama, and former Secretary of State John Kerry. Unfortunately, though, it's unlikely this question will be addressed in Thursday's upcoming second and final presidential debate. One thing is certain, the election will have both domestic and foreign policy ramifications for many years to come. For RT, John Huddy.
And before I end this video, I'm just end it with this last precept. It's in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. Let's see, I'm going to start at verse 8. And it says, "And he said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand."
There is a shortage of 500,000 machine learning and artificial intelligence professionals. Keeping this in mind, the University of
I got an autoplay on said, so like it. Now it says in verse 8, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau," which is symbolism of how people going to end up pulling Esau down, and we're going to end up coming to power. Now, in verse 9 it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed." Esau world ended, man. If you look at the society, you can tell something about to happen serious if you got that vision. If you don't got that vision, then you're going to be like, what's going on? Why all this stuff happening? Is these scriptures really real? But hey, if you got an actual vision, like I said, you clearly see this about to come to fruition. That's all you see in the news lately. Uprisings of the people. This RFID chip tied with this COVID-19 bullshit. Wars and rumors of wars. And nuclear talk. So, Lord's willing, this is edifying. Call all y'all by Shem Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.